What's up, y'all? Too Heady here, coming at you with a banger of a video today. Today we're talking about the time where me and my buddy toked with his mom and she completely greened out. So this was like my sophomore, junior year of high school, like most of my stories. And at this point in time, me and my buddy were trapping a little, had a bit of bud, like 2 ounces to a QP on us at a time. And he was also growing a little bit in his tent. And at the time, his mom's boyfriend was helping us a lot with like the hydroponics setup, with genetics and stuff like that. He was just a really cool dude. And on this fateful day, we go downstairs. We're just like smoking, talking with his mom's boyfriend, and we just end up having like a nice long conversation. And it ended up getting to like, we need to get Al's mom to smoke with us. We need to get her high. So that was the mission the entire fucking day, bro. So I ended up pulling up. I had my fucking bud with me. I forget what it was. Probably some like OG Kush or some shit. And he had his blueberry that he was growing in his tent. And let me tell you, that blueberry smelled fucking delicious. I mean, the first run he did, like after his harvest, it smelled like fucking dryer sheets. That was bad. But after his first harvest, he kind of knew how to cure and dry it and wasn't terrible. We end up rolling up a few J's and we go outside. They have a little fire pit. We're all talking out there and we're just passing around the J. We'll just call her boyfriend K. So we're past the J to K. He's like, oh, this shit's like pretty good. Is this the blueberry we grew? It's like, nah, this is the OG that he brought. So, oh, like, this is pretty good. You grow this? I was like, nah, I just bought this shit, bro. This is just fucking mid from the plug down the road. Like, oh, alright. So we get to the second one. And the second one was the blueberry, but this shit was rolled in a juicy J. And I don't know if y'all know what those are, but they are my least favorite fucking paper. Why the fuck are you smoking a J if you want it to taste like an orange creamsicle? Holy shit. But they just take the terps out of all the fucking bud you smoke. But we smoked that. It was pretty decent. And at this point, we're kind of got the munchies. We're like, oh, let's go in and make some food. So his mom ends up making some food. And Kate comes upstairs with us, looking at the tents and stuff. It's like, oh, like, you guys are doing a really good job. I'm really surprised. Like, oh, thanks. Like, it means a lot coming from you. Like, he had a lot of experience. He'd been, like, growing off and on for 20, 30 years. He was a pretty old dude. It's like, yeah, like, if you guys ever need any help, I got some more seeds and shit. And you can just pop them and I can give them to you. Like, oh, word, thank you. We ended up chilling upstairs for a little bit, and then we get called down. We're like, this is it. This is the mission. We gotta do this. So we throw a fucking nice little salad in a big ass J. I'm telling you, like a 3.5, a big old 3.5 J, double paper, fucking fat ass filter. We go down and we show this little thing. We present it to Kay. He's like, yes, this is beautiful. Thank you, boys, for doing this. So his mom brings over the pasta or whatever we're having. We're like, hey, like, before we eat, we should smoke this. It's like, oh, okay. Honestly, let's do the same thing. If y'all got a bowl, pack it up. I'm toking on some of that grape gasoline I've been talking about for like the past fucking week. Shit finally landed, and we got it, and as good as you could have fucking imagined. Shout out Scorched Earth, always with the fucking crazy ass strains. Cheers. Oh, excuse me. All right, let's get back into that story. So we're like, yeah, we should smoke this shit before dinner. We pass it around. My buddy Al starts it off. He passes it to me. I pass it to Kay. And like once it gets to her, we're like, all right, you need to not just pass it. You need to take at least one hit. At least one. She's like, no, like, I don't want to. Blah, blah, blah. We're finally convinced her. We're like, we're all just chilling here. We're going to have a good night. It is going to be incredible. So she finally caves. She was like, all right, takes a nice little one of those and passes it. Goes around a few times and she hit it 2 or 3 more times after that. She was like actually feeling it now that like, I don't know, maybe it's just super rough on her throat to begin with, and that's why she coughs super hard. But we put this J out and the whole downstairs is just boxed now. Like, the craziest thing is seeing like your homie's childhood fucking living room just be hotboxed. It is the most surreal feeling. But we're like, yo, you good? She's like kind of just nonverbal at this point. So we just end up eating our food. She mouths that shit, bro. Munches it down. We're like, oh, like you feeling it? You're a little cooked, aren't you? It's like, yeah, it feels great. We're like, all right, like you two have a great time downstairs. We're gonna head upstairs, play some video games, and get even more baked. Like, all right, love you guys. Have a good night. And like an hour or two later, after we had gone upstairs, he receives a text from his mother saying like, "I love you," some like super emotional stuff. And he was like, "Oh no, dude, she's fucking greening out. She's going through it." So we go downstairs, and she's just pale as a motherfucker, laying on the couch, bawling her eyes out with Kay right there. He's like, yeah, she's greening out currently. Like, she's thrown up already. She's not having a good time. She's completely out of it. So we're just like, oh fuck, okay. So we get her water and shit. We're like, all right, let's get you upstairs to bed. Like, sorry, we didn't expect this to happen. Like, now we really feel bad about peer pressuring you into smoking that. We bring her upstairs. She lays down. We get her in bed finally. And her room is the room that had the tent in it to begin with because it was the biggest room. Just weird fucking coincidence. But we lay her down, and the fucking lights in the tent are just so bright. The whole room is fucking purple. But we lay her down. She just talks to us. She's like, oh, like, thank you guys. I did have a great night. I think it was just a little too much for me. Like, oh, okay, like, we're glad you're feeling a little better now. Keg stays in there and comforts her. Al stays in there and comforts her for a little bit. I just ended up going back into my buddy's room. His sister comes out. She's like, what happened? Like, it's like, oh, like, she honestly ended up greening out. We got her to smoke with us. It's like, what? No way. Really? I've been trying to get that shit to happen for like 3 years. But we all ended up going back into Al's room and just hotboxing the piss out of that shit. We even got Kay to come in with us. He was like, I smell you guys are smoking something. We're like, here, got you. And he ended up going to bed. She crashed out at like fucking, I don't know, 8:30, 9 p.m. Not very late at all. And we all stayed up until like midnight at least. But that's the story of how me and my buddy smoked with his mom and she greened out in front of us. I hope y'all enjoyed the story. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video.